Scrum Artifacts are the key information radiators that provide transparency and opportunities for inspection and adaptation. There are three main artifacts in Scrum: the Product Backlog, the Sprint Backlog, and the Increment. The Product Backlog is an ordered list of everything that is known to be needed in the product, and the single source of requirements for any changes. It is owned and maintained by the product owner. It is dynamic and constantly evolving. It is ordered by value, risk, and necessity, and it is refined regularly for clarity and detail. Here is a visual representation of a product backlog. As you can see, it contains user authentication system and payment processing integration with high priority. Medium priority items are product search functionality, user profile management, and email notification system with low priority. Product backlog refinement is the ongoing process of adding detail, estimates, and order to items in the product backlog. The refinement process involves clarifying the requirements by adding details and acceptance criteria to ensure shared understanding. Estimating the relative size and complexity of backlog items. Ordering the backlog items based on value, dependencies, risk, and business needs. And splitting large items into smaller, more manageable pieces. As an example, before refinement, a backlog item might say, users should be able to search for products. After refinement, the backlog item would say, as a customer, I want to search for products by name so that I can quickly find what I'm looking for. The sprint backlog is the set of product backlog items selected for the sprint, plus a plan for delivering the product increment and realizing the sprint goal. It is created during sprint planning by the development team. It visualizes all the work needed to meet the sprint goal. It is owned and updated by the development team. It tracks progress throughout the sprint and provides transparency into the team's work. Here is a visual representation of a sprint board. It contains 3 columns: to do, in progress, and done. There are tasks inside these columns for a sprint that team is working on. The sprint backlog consists of 3 main components, which are sprint goal, selected product backlog items also called PBIs, and action plan. A sprint goal is a short, 1 or 2 sentence statement that provides the development team with a shared objective for the sprint. It creates coherence and focus for the team. Example: complete the user authentication system so customers can securely log in, register, and reset their passwords. Selected PBIs are product backlog items chosen from the product backlog that the development team believes it can complete during the sprint to achieve the sprint goal. Example PBIs are implement user registration form, create login functionality, develop password reset feature, and set up email verification. Action plan means the development team's plan for how they will deliver the selected product backlog items and achieve the sprint goal, which is often broken down into specific tasks. Example tasks are design database schema for user accounts, create API endpoints for authentication, build front-end components for login form, implement form validation, and write unit tests for authentication logic. The increment is the sum of all the product backlog items completed during a sprint and the value of the increments of all previous sprints. It must be done according to the team's definition of done. It is inspected during sprint review to adapt the product backlog. It must be usable regardless of whether the product owner decides to release it. It provides transparency into progress toward the product goal and represents a step toward a valuable product vision. A potentially releasable product increment contains user authentication, search functionality, payment processing, user profiles, and notifications. Definition of done is a shared understanding of what it means for work to be complete, creating transparency and ensuring quality. It is a formal description of the state of the increment when it meets the quality measures required for the product. When a product backlog item meets the definition of done, an increment is born. It ensures transparency, quality, and a shared understanding of what complete work means. It helps prevent technical debt and ensures that each increment is potentially releasable. Some of the benefits are transparency, quality, alignment, and risk reduction. Here is an example checklist for definition of done. Code is peer-reviewed and meets coding standards. Unit tests are written and passing with minimum 80% coverage. Integration tests are passing. Documentation is updated. Feature is deployed to staging environment. Quality assurance testing is complete with no critical bugs. Product owner has reviewed and approved. Performance meets established criteria. Let us summarize all the artifacts that we have learned. The product backlog is an ordered list of everything that is known to be needed in the product, and it is owned by product owner. It is the single source of product requirements. It is dynamic and constantly evolving. It is ordered by value, risk, and necessity, and it is refined for clarity and detail. The sprint backlog is the set of product backlog items selected for the sprint, plus a plan for delivering them. It is owned by development team. It is created during sprint planning, includes sprint goal and action plan. It is updated throughout the sprint, and visualizes all work needed for sprint goal. The increment is the sum of all completed product backlog items during a sprint and the value of previous sprints, and it is created by development team. It must meet definition of done. It is potentially releasable. It is inspected during sprint review and represents progress toward product goal. All Scrum artifacts provide transparency and opportunities for inspection and adaptation, enabling empirical process control in complex product development. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.